Smooches, and welcome back to Live Laugh Lauren. If this is your first time here, let me introduce myself. So my name is Lauren, as per my channel name, big whoop-de-doop. And up here I do all things cozy and crafty, and I take you along into my creative lifestyle. And today we are doing a little knit along. Well, not you, because this is a test knit, and unfortunately it's not out yet, but when it comes out, based on what I've knit so far, I would highly recommend it. It is the Seaside Shorts by Engineering Loops or Bailey Baird, and it uses a, what is this? I think it's a DK weight. Let me double check. Lightweight yarn, and this is a cotton blend, I believe. Let's check it out. Cotton with viscose for a silky sheen. So these will end up being a pair of little shorties, and I'm so excited to finish them up. And right now, just to keep y'all updated, I am working on the German short rows for the back. I really do like that about this pattern, that it utilizes German short rows because it adds a little bit more height to the back to account for the bootay. That definitely like impacts like how like shorts fit, right? So you need to have a little bit more height on the back. So I really like that she took that into account when designing these shorts. And I started these, I think earlier this week. It is currently Friday, and I made the gauge watch for it all, and I was trying to figure out like what needle size to watch. Wait, no, I was trying to figure out what needle size to use for this project, and I actually learned that I have the loosest tension ever because I was getting a huge tension even when using size 2 needles for this project. The project itself calls for like I want to say it's like a size 4 needle, and I just didn't have that, or I tried that out, but it ended up being a way too big of a gauge. So I ended up flipping to going with a smaller needle to obtain gauge so it actually fits right, and especially with shorts, since there's so many measurements going on with like the waist and hips, and I wanted to make sure that it fit right. Like this is one garment where you don't really want ease in it, maybe a little bit towards the leg room, but like you want it to be fitted in the waist, right? So I wanted to make sure that I had the gauge right for these shorts. Anywho, going over what I knit today. So I wanted to make this video today, more so as just a little yap session. So I'm currently working on another project right now. Not knitting project, but like video project where I do like a whole in-depth vlog about this whole like progression of the shorts that I'm making. And I was thinking it would be fun to like maybe try to turn my YouTube more into having a dedicated video for each of my projects that I've made. I did one for the Paradox sweater, and it was fun having like the videography like throughout the course of the project, and I think I want to try taking that with me into future projects that I make. It was certainly tricky when I was making 2 sweaters at once, so I'm kind of glad I didn't do that then, but going forward I definitely want to try to take that into account and help that, or let that be like a guiding light in my whole pattern making or YouTube journey, I would say. Oh my god, sorry, I just made a short row and it was scary. Anyhow, I think it would be a really good guiding light to help follow me as I continue to make more videos and like have a dependable video I can fall back on. Because that is one thing they don't warn you about when making a YouTube channel, is you gotta be creative. You gotta come up with all sorts of stuff. There's so many video ideas that I have, but like there's only like so many I can actually end up doing, but you have to end up coming up and brainstorming with all of these ideas and bring them to the table, recording them, editing them. And each video I view as a project, and I really like kind of fall into it, and I really want to like show how much it means to me, right? Oh, sorry, Frey's over there in the corner doing her thing, you know. But today I wanted to more so just kind of yap about my future knitting like ideas and like what's coming up in terms of my knits, to just help you guys know what to be looking out for in terms of the next things that I'm making. So as you can see here, and I've already yapped about it, I'm currently making a pair of shorts. I've also made 2 tank tops actually in the past month, and I really liked making tank tops. So one of them is a test knit pattern for Vera Grazia, and it will be the Princess Peplum top. So I'll probably have either a YouTube short or a video going over it and my thoughts on it. I wish I had done more clips like during the making process, but alas. It was a really quick top too, so I was actually debating. I have an extra skein of this yarn, so I might end up actually making a second one using that. And that pattern is like super easy to like modify in terms of different yarn weights and stuff, which I definitely am going to recommend to her to just maybe incorporate like some more like easy or like made to measure calculations, because that project would be very easy to adapt for that. And also, the other tank top I made is actually a self-drafted one I made. And I love how it turned out. I haven't posted any pictures about it yet because I want to make a pattern for it and then hopefully share it with y'all. But one thing I will be looking out for in the coming weeks is some testers here soon. So once I actually do a photo shoot with my tank top, I'll definitely be putting that out there and actually putting pen to paper and writing down the pattern. I need to do some calculations for it just to make sure everything works correctly. One like issue I've been running into is I don't know how many sizes to make, and I will say like test knitting some other tank tops has been super helpful to like just get a gauge for how other designers make their patterns and like how diverse they are in terms of sizing. But it can be a tricky thing to come up with and like determine how like many sizes to do and include. And especially with the pattern that I'm doing, it uses a like pixelated design and like intarsia knitting. So I don't want the intarsia to end up getting like either too big or too small for whatever size you're knitting. I want it to be like the same with respect to the size you're making and like have that much of an impact on it, if that makes any sense. So that is currently where I'm at in terms of knitting. I don't have any other things on the needles right now. I don't know, I've been kind of in a little bit of a knitting rut. If you watch my last video, I gave some tips on how to get out of it. And I think I am actually kind of more in like a reading kind of mood right now. I only read 3 books last month, which is still a decent amount of books to read in a month. So I don't know why I'm like saying only. But I have a long list of on my TBR that I really want to check out. So I think I might end up going more in that direction. I also would really like to try intarsia crochet. There's one designer I've been following for a hot minute that I would love to look more into some of her patterns and giving them a try. Otherwise, I'm not too sure. I don't have much like leftover yarn laying around, or like my yarn stash is very small, I would say, compared to other crafters. I don't like having a lot of yarn laying around. Like when I buy yarn, it is for a specific project in mind. So like I bought this yarn with the idea of making shorts for it. And I did buy an extra skein of it for 2 reasons. A, in case I have to play yarn chicken, and 2, in case I would like to make a tank top to match it. But I am running into this issue where, so see how it's like a color gradient? The color gradient is going to end up looking a little wacky with respect to the German short rows, but I think it'll end up giving it a really cool illusion. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'm trying to think of what else. I would really like to design like a dog sweater. So one of my good friends, she asked me to make her a sweater for her doggy, and I would really like to do that for her. She's a good friend of mine, and it's a fun like quick project that works up really quickly. So I think I would like to make another dog sweater. I made one for my dog and he absolutely loves it. He's such a gem in it. Like he never wants to take it off if I ever put him in it. So I think I would like to make maybe more of those and like maybe even write a pattern for it. Because when I was looking for patterns, there's not many out there. I don't know what the interest on that would be. So if you would like that, please comment down below and let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But honestly, I won't lie to you. I'm a little bit nervous to like write my first pattern. And like, yes, I wrote one for the Ninja Creamy, but like, or the Ninja Creamy Cozy, but that wasn't a garment. And like, I just have like some nerves of like putting it out there. But nonetheless, I am super nervous about it. Oh, I kind of had the same feeling I had like when I wrote my first research paper. So I'm currently a PhD candidate. And with that, I have to do a lot of research and write a lot of papers. So I kind of feel the same way I did as when I first wrote a paper to be published. But honestly, the way I look at knitting is a very similar view as to how I see the research world. So when you're a designer, you're in a sense a researcher. And when you write a pattern, that's a paper or methodology. And when you cast on a project, you're trying out a new method, and like you can even post it on Ravelry. Also, I'm so sorry if you can hear my lab in the to the right of me. She is grumbling because she wants all my attention. But right now I'm giving you my attention. So that's not happening. Oh, hello, Ray. I'm trying to knit. But yes, and then like with test knitting, in a way that's kind of like peer review. So I really think it's a similar kind of concept in a way. And I really do like thinking of it that way. And maybe that's why I like the whole knitting community so much, because it reminds me so much of the scientific method and community that I find myself in with research and whatnot. Also, my hands are freaking aching right now because I did a leg day today and I was like Romanian deadlifting a ton, and like you can see my hand calluses, but they are aching. And as I mentioned at the top of this video, I realized I have a super loose tension, and it's crucial with like cotton yarn, which I'm using right now, to use a tighter tension because it has more elasticity. So like compared to merino, it stretches more like this way. So you really have to like pull it tight in order to make sure that you're reaching the correct gauge. And I found that when I was knitting on the beach, actually, when I was first making the gauge watch for it, and it came out super big. Like it looked like I was using like 5mm needles, and I was like, I'm using like 2.5mm needles. Like it should be a lot smaller than that. And it was because I didn't have enough like tight enough tension, because the salt in the air made it a lot harder to like grasp the yarn and actually pull it tight. So right now I have to like be extra conscientious of like pulling the yarn tight to make sure that I am hitting the correct gauge and making this to measure correctly, right? So that has been a big learning curve for me, and it makes so much sense because I was doing my tester feedback for the Arctic Bunny Jumper by Vera Grazia, and the like overall sweater, I love it. Oh my god, it's so cozy. But whenever I wear it, it just kind of felt a little too big, and I went to measure it. Sure enough, my gauge was 1 stitch off, and with that, it ended up making it 1.16 times what it should have been. So my sweater was, as predicted, that like bust size for the like when I went to go measure, and I was like, wow, that's crazy the impact that it can have. And if you haven't seen it yet, I would watch my video where I scare you into making sure you do your gauge wash, because it is a very important thing. I keep seeing all this like discourse online, like on TikTok and stuff, about like just blindly going into it without doing a gauge wash and just hoping that the knitting fairies and gods end up just brushing past it. But that is not how it works. You will get a sweater that's too big or too small, and then you'll have to go back and redo it all. So again, as I already talked about and yapped about for 20 minutes, please do your gauge watch. It is so important. So yes, but dude, my hand hurts so much because I'm trying to use a different like tension holding method. So I usually just wrap it like once around my pinky like that, but right now I'm doing it 3 times, and also around like my big finger or my middle finger as well. So it is extremely tight, and I'm honestly kind of wishing I had done some like hand exercises. I've seen online like how to stretch your hand out before you knit, because when you knit you end up using, I want to say 20 muscles in your hands or more. It's a very like, I mean it makes sense because it's a very like small hand movement, and you have to be very controlled with it and whatnot. I mean look at that, I'm like using a lot of different hands right now. Also, I feel so cool whenever I knit in public, and I can like knit and like not even look at the project that I'm doing, like kind of like how I'm doing right now. I'm like, oh, like look, see, I can do. Oh no, of course, the second I say that, I make a small mistake. But I just feel so in control when I'm like knit like this. It's a really soothing process, and I just feel in control of the yarn. And it is just crazy to me that like I can interweave all this string into being a set fabric, which is insane to me. And that is what brings me back to knitting. I'm just flabbergasted that I can create that. I know something else that I have on my like knit wish list is, actually I used to have a top like this, and I've seen it trending on Ravelry, but it's essentially like an off the shoulder top that is long sleeve that folds downwards. And I used to have a top like that, that I had from Target, but I've since donated it because I just didn't end up liking the fit. Well, if I don't like the fit, then maybe I shouldn't make it. Maybe I could make it as a gift for someone else. But I think that would be a really fun project to try out. No, but I've been having the crochet itch recently because I haven't crocheted in a hot minute. And last year around this time, I was actually crocheting a dress that I would later be proposed to in. So I think it's been, I haven't had a big crochet project since then. I made, or no, I made a crochet blanket, but I finished that a long time ago. And I had like crocheted a couple sweaters, but I think I want to end up making like some more like shawls to wear over. I have one that I've made with crochet and I really like how it turned out. And it uses the, what is it called? It's not color work. It's not color block. I forgot what it's called. I'll let editing Lauren figure it out. But I think it makes the prettiest looking shawls, and I would love to make something like that. Going back though to writing my own pattern, I'll be so honest with you, I've been having the worst imposter syndrome about it because I see all these other really cool pattern designers and I follow them and whatnot. And like sometimes I just don't feel like I am there yet to release a pattern or make one because they just feel like they're a better crafter or art person than I am. And I've really been kind of battling that recently, and I think that something that has helped me a lot is just continuing to put out content and making videos and proving to myself every week that yes, I can still make things. I don't have to have a billion followers for that or whatnot. And it has been a real thing that I've been kind of fighting, but I think that by me putting pen to paper and actually writing something up for my pattern will be super helpful to proving to myself that I can do it. And that is my reminder to y'all today as well, that you too can do hard things. And all you have to do is show up and do the dang thing. It's all about consistency in my book. That is what I live by. All you have to do is show up every day and give it your best shot, and success will follow. Or at least satisfaction will. I'm just cruising. I was like really in the zone. That is one thing. When it comes to knitting, I get so zoned out. Like honestly, like when I try to talk to the camera while I knit, I have a hard time sometimes because I could just like zone out. Like there's been a few times when I've like posted a vlog where I'm just like, oh, come knit with me. And I end up just kind of tuning out and just knitting. And I'll have to go and cut out a lot of footage because I just end up getting so in the rhythm. There's something so calming and relaxing about this, which is so weird. Like, I mean, it makes the smallest like sound, but it just scratches like the itch of like needing something to do with my hands. And I end up getting like something out of this, right? So if you didn't know, I really like to watch TV while I knit because after I finish a show or something, I have this sweater to show for it. So like right now, me and Jacob are actually watching Euphoria, and I've already seen it before, but I'm excited to start season 3. That show is crazy though. I honestly don't know if I would recommend it. It's a wild ride. That's all I'll say. But I love Zendaya, so I'm tuned in. And while I'm watching it, I've already seen it before. So you can best bet that I'm sitting there knitting my heart away because what else is a girl to do? My attention span shot because of social media. So why not just knit instead? It helps keep my hands occupied and busy. This is like my little fidget toy, and like honestly, if it was more normalized, I kid you not, I would be knitting during meetings because it would help me pay attention so much more. And I know some people get frustrated by it. Like I've seen like some people on like the crafting Stark pages on Reddit like complaining about it. Like there was one time someone complained about their like I think whoever was sitting beside them at a concert was knitting, and they were like, oh my god, I couldn't hear, or like all I heard was like the little like needle clicking the whole time. But like yeah, that's true, but like for some people it can really help them focus. And I mean, it's either this or me clicking a pen, so I would rather be doing this. This feels more productive to me. But again, that's probably just like my hyper productive brain, like constantly needing to one up itself to get things done. But that's a conversation for therapy, right? um, but I do really like that's part of it, or I really like it. It just helps give me something to like occupy my mind with and whatnot. And I feel like knitting is such a cool girl hobby, you know what I mean? Like I'm glad that it's finally like changed course of like it doesn't feel as much as like of a grandma hobby anymore. It feels a lot more classy and posh. Like I mean, look at all those pattern writers out there and all the yarn store and stuff. I was looking on like Knitting for Olive the other day, and the amount of people that were just looking at yarn, I was astonished. I want to say it was over like 30,000 people or something, or added it to their cart. And those numbers might be wrong, but I was like taken aback. I was like, that many people are interested in buying yarn right now from Knitting for Olive. And like, yeah, they're a big brand, but that's a lot of people. I was very impressed, and I'm glad that so many people are interested right now in crafting and stuff. I think that there was a huge uptake in like crocheting, especially like with 2020. Well, that is all I have for y'all folks today. So with that, if you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out some more of my crafting videos here. I'll be posting more project-based videos in the future, but I also like to have some fun vlog videos every now and then. It's fun to have something to like, or someone to craft with you. XOXO, Lauren.